If you're brand new to the Hunter Call of the Wild and you feel broke, underpowered, or completely lost, this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to make cash fast as a beginner, whether you own DLC or not. The best starter maps for money, trophies, and your very first grind, and I'll break down the exact weapons and DLCs that are actually worth buying, so you don't waste time or money. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where to hunt, what to use, and how to progress the fastest way possible. Let me know in the comments, as a new player, what was the first thing you wasted money on, and let's jump in. Okay, so we're going to start out by talking about how to make cash fast. That is definitely a burning question for most new players. Now, if you are hunting the non-DLC way, the best species for cash in Layton Lakes is definitely black bears. Predators pay the big bucks. All predators are going to pay you more than other species will. Now, you're also going to get paid the most when you make a vital shot and pass the harvest check. You will get paid more, and you will get paid more for males than females, and the larger the animal is, the more it's going to pay you. So a 9 is going to pay me way more than a level 3. Now, another rule for being a new player is to literally shoot everything you see. So during this time in the morning, between 4 and 8, you're going to see black bears. They drink at the same time as Roosevelt elk. They both drink from 4 till 8, so you're going to be seeing both of them. So shoot absolutely everything. And there are mallards around as well. Look at all the ducks over here. So shoot them all. But we're going to start with the bears. That's 1. And that's 2. And that big old elk is gone. Man! Okay, so we passed the harvest check. She paid us $1,213, which isn't too bad. But for a male with a vital shot, say like a level 7 or a level 8, they can pay you as much as $1,600 or more. For one bear! That's pretty great. And elk will pay you about $1,200 for a large male. And I did get a vital on this one. See, so she paid us less, $998, which I will still take. So if you want to stick to hunting here in Layton, I would recommend setting the time to between 4 and 8 a.m. Bears are everywhere on the map, so if you just want to hunt black bear, you can literally hunt on any water source. But I would recommend hunting on the right half of the map because you're going to find black bears and Roosevelt elk at the same time, so you're just going to make more money. So elk are only on the right half of the map, so one really good spot to start is at the Calburn Outpost. Just run up to the river. You can run right or left. Both ways, you're going to find bears and elk on both sides of the river. Another really good stretch to run is the entire East Coast. If you are trying to grind for cash as a new player, doing it the non-DLC way, I think Hirschfelden is the better map. Let's head over there right now. Okay, we are here in Hirschfelden, and Hirschfelden is actually a really thick map, and it can be very difficult to hunt the drink zones. But as a new player, it's a lot easier to find animals out in the fields early in the morning. Now, when you do want to hunt in the morning here in Hirschfelden, I would recommend setting the time to about 6 a.m. because fallow deer feed from 6 until 10, and roe deer and European bison feed from 4 till 7. So at 6 o'clock, everything is feeding for an hour. So that's going to give you the best chance at finding the most animals possible. The other thing you can do in Hirschfelden is hunt for geese for cash. That will make you quite a bit of cash. Just set up with about 20 or 30 decoys. Drop a duck blind that you'll find in the Duck and Cover DLC about 40 meters away, and set a tent not too far away as well so you can get here easily, and just wait in the blind early in the morning, and the geese will come in just from the collars. You don't even have to use a collar to get them to come in. Now, another good tip is when you're changing the time, it is 25% cheaper to change the time in any tent as compared to changing it in an outpost. The best species for cash in Hirschfelden, in my opinion, is red deer. Now, you're not going to find red deer out here in the fields at this time, but you will later in the afternoon. But I would actually recommend hunting red deer during their drink time. They drink from 6 until 10, and they are at every water source on the entire map. Now, even as a brand new player with no DLC, you can still hunt all of the DLC maps for free in multiplayer as long as someone on the map owns the map. Okay, so now we're going to move on to making cash the DLC way. And the best map for making cash, in my opinion, is in Emerald Coast. So that's where we're headed. Okay, so this is where you want to be. Now, you can start at the Jakewood Cottage and run over to the very bottom of the beach. Now, I would recommend dropping a tent here. I am going to do that in a minute, but right now I have way too many animals around and I don't want to spook them. So, when you change the time to after 1700, what you're going to find along the beach here are piles of crocs. They're almost always here at all times of the day. But banteng and red fox drink from 17 to 20, and they will also be along the beach. That's a diamond potential banteng. That's another thing. Banteng are fairly easy diamonds, so you could find a diamond, banteng, red fox, or a croc while you're trying to grind cash. It wouldn't be the craziest thing. Now, of course, as you run the beach, you're going to shoot absolutely everything. Shoot as much as you can. Banteng are class 9 species, crocs are class 8, and red fox are class 2. Hopefully that was good. Now I'm going to shoot as many of these as I possibly can. I want to get a vital if possible, but the most important thing is to make them dead. Another thing is, when you get a vital, you don't have to do a lot of tracking, which is really nice. And banteng are really slow moving, so often when you find a big herd of them, you can just run alongside them and ping them all off and make a serious paycheck. Look, I just shot all of them! Holy! So this is, in my opinion, the absolute best way to make cash in the game right now. Just simply set the time to around 1800, anytime between 17 and 20, and run the beach from the bottom to the top, or from the top to the bottom. It really doesn't matter, seeing as the wind is blowing east. It really doesn't matter. The wind is no effect. And there are crocs, and you will see red fox intermittently as well. Now, to do this, I would recommend using the Arzina 300, and if you want to use the correct rifle for red fox, you can just grab the Frost or the Ranger 243. Oh, a mythical! So again, the bigger the species, the more it's going to pay you. Now, if at all possible when you are shooting crocs, try and get a neck shot, because they will literally just drop and you will do no tracking. Now, this guy's giving me a decent angle for a neck shot. I don't know if I'll get it or not. I'd actually like him to straighten out. He's not gonna do that. Look, there's a fox, a nice big one right there. Okay, here we go. Now, when going for neck, you just basically want to aim halfway up the body, right where the neck is. And I missed. Of course! Now, you want to get a vital shot. He's going to be wearing too many bullets, but as long as he dies and my mythical is gone. Not my best work! But we're still going to make money. Now, when you shoot a croc, even if you get a vital shot, if you don't get a neck shot, your croc is going to run into the water and go for a swim. It will then die underwater, float to the top, and then it will float to where you were when you took the shot. Okay, I think this might be the banteng that was diamond potential. He scored 127 and diamond is 137. If this is him. Not a diamond, but he still paid us 1135. Now, as you shoot a few, that price will start going up more and more. Got him! Beautiful! That is how you do a neck shot. Now, crocs don't spook very easily. You can usually run pretty close to them. There are piles of them out here. Just piles. Now, I actually just shot a red fox just to see what they would pay. This guy's a level 7, and he paid us 1,470. So, they pay pretty well. Look at all the animals. Look at the banteng. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so this is why this method is the absolute best for cash. So yeah, literally just shoot them all. And there you go. So here is our next shot. Look at that. And this guy paid us $1,531. Pretty great. So that is the beach method in Emerald Coast. Now, just as a rule of thumb, no matter what map you're hunting on for cash, you want to be hunting predators. Predators are always going to pay you the most, and just shoot the biggest ones possible and try and pass the harvest check, and you will make a pile of cash. Now, there are actually 6 different deer species on this map. Red deer and rusa deer pay the most. Rusa deer actually can pay 16 up to 1,700 for a large level 4. And you will find rusa deer right up in this corner right here, and everywhere you see on this hotspot map. And here's one for Red Deer for Emerald Coast. So now we're going to talk about what the best maps are for leveling up for new players. Now, Emerald Coast is definitely one of them, and I already explained to you why. But also, here in Scotland, this is a really great map for new players. There are animals literally everywhere, no matter where you go on the map, and it really doesn't matter what time you set it to. It's really not hard to find animals here. Now, other good maps would include Silver Ridge Peaks. You will find lots of animals there. Savanna is a really good pick, and a ski ridge. It's really easy to find animals there as well. So those would probably be my favorite maps for new players to level up on. Now let's talk about what the best map is for finding your first trophies. The maps where you will more easily find diamonds than on other maps. Now, the best map, in my opinion, for finding diamonds as a new player would probably be in Savanna. Wildebeest are the easiest diamond in the game. Okay, we're here in Savanna, and Wildebeest, in my opinion, are the easiest diamond in the game. If you're looking for your first diamond, I would highly recommend coming here to Savanna and hunting Wildebeest. They drink here from 6 to 9, set it to about 7 or 7:30. The best lake for Wildebeest is this lake right here. Now, unfortunately, it is really far away from the closest outpost, which is the Sungula place. So I would actually recommend setting 2 tents on this lake, one on the right side and one on the left. Now, this lake is amazing for lots of species. It's amazing for lions, for wildebeest, and for Gemsbok, and for ducks. So that's 4 species right there. Now, when you're looking for a diamond wildebeest, you're looking for either a level 4 or a level 5. They actually make diamonds at level 4 way more often than they do at level 5. So what you're looking for a level 4 that has a max weight of 290 kilograms or 639 pounds. It has to be max weight in order to make diamonds. If you find a level 4 that goes up to 265 kilograms, even if the estimate says it could make diamonds, unless it's max weight, it cannot make diamonds. So it has to be max weight. So you want to shoot every level 4 that has a max weight of 290 kilograms, or level 5, of course, and you will end up shooting a diamond. Now, this is a hot spot for wildebeest, so these are all the spots where you can hunt them. So if you search your entire map and you shoot every level 4 max weight wildebeest and you don't find a diamond, well, I would be very surprised, first of all. And second of all, if that happens, then I would recommend repeating the process in multiplayer, and you will come away with a diamond. So another species that is fairly easy to find a diamond in is the female Gemsbok. What you're looking for is either a level 4 or a level 5 female Gemsbok that has 337 within the estimate, like this one right here. But I have a bit of a bug in my game. For whatever reason, the female Gemsbok, their horns don't render in for me unless I get really, really close to them. So it makes it really difficult to judge the female Gemsbok. But this one only goes to 321, but if it went above 327, I would be shooting this one really fast. Now, it doesn't have to be max weight in order to make diamonds, but it does have to have 327, which is its diamond trophy rating, within the estimate. Now, here are all the spots where you will find Gemsbok drinking. Now, they drink here in Savanna from 3 to 6. Now, the best maps for finding your first diamond, in my opinion, would be Savanna, Silver Ridge Peaks, and Cuatro, Colinas. Now, another map that is great for finding your first diamond is here in Cuatro, Colinas. Now, Ibex species are actually fairly easy diamonds, and the easiest of all of them, and most common, is the Beseat Ibex. Now, what I would recommend you do when you are looking for a diamond Ibex is change the time to Ibex drink time. All 4 Ibex species drink from 10 until 1400. Now, they all have their own mountain. Cuatro Colinas actually means 4 mountains, and they drink around all the water sources that surround their particular mountain. So basically, each Ibex species has a quadrant of the map. So for example, this is the mountain for Beseat, so you will find Beseat everywhere that is highlighted in yellow. Now, the thing with these Ibex is that they make diamond a lot at level 4, not so much at level 5. What I mean by that is you're more likely to find a level 4 diamond than you are a level 5. So every time you find a level 4 that has the diamond trophy rating within the estimate, that means it could be a diamond. That means it's diamond potential, and you want to shoot every diamond potential animal that you come across. See, I just joined Silver Ridge Peaks. There is a huge herd of mule deer just passing through right over there. All kinds of them. There's a pile of plains bison. There's another mule deer, more bison. There's just animals all over the place. It's just really easy to find animals in Silver Ridge Peaks for new players. That is why I do recommend it as one of the first maps to level up, but it's also great for finding your first trophy. Now, I would say the easiest diamond here in Silver Ridge Peaks is probably the Merriam turkey. Okay, so we have a pile of turkeys coming in. It really doesn't take long to find them. Now, turkeys don't drink. They used to drink, and when they drank, they were crazy easy diamonds, but they're a little tougher now that they don't drink. But basically, if you come out to anywhere where it is wide open fields, early in the morning, anytime between basically 5:30 and 11, they actually feed from 4 till 11, but who wants to hunt them in the dark? Not me. You will find them feeding, and they like to be in any wide open fields, or when you are scouting around drink zones, you just want to look about 400 meters further back, and you will find animals feeding, and turkeys. That is a good way to find them as well. Now, anytime you see a level 2 or a level 3 Merriam turkey, any type of turkey, but in Silver Ridge Peaks, it would be a Merriam turkey that is 9 to 11 kilograms, that could be a diamond. So that level 2 that just vanished is diamond potential. So anytime you see one of those, you want to take a shot. Now, you don't need a vital with class 1 species. So there he is there. Okay. Now, I doubt he's going to make diamond, but you never know. It is possible. Let's go find out. Now, other species that aren't that tough to find diamonds here in Silver Ridge Peaks would include bighorn sheep, pronghorn. Just literally spot absolutely everything when you are looking for diamonds and rares. Always spot everywhere before you shoot and spook things away. You just never know when you're going to run into a max level or a rare animal. Okay, we're going to switch gears now, and we are going to talk about grinding. Now, a lot of people ask me, when is a good time for me to start my first Great One grind? Now, obviously, this is totally up to you. I would personally recommend that you wait until level 60 to start your first Great One grind. Now, the reason is because there's a lot to learn in this game. There's a lot of maps, a lot of trophies. There is, geez, how many species are there in the game now? I think there's 109. I could be wrong, but somewhere around there, there's about 110 species in the game. And why not start hunting for some of those diamonds as you level up? The other thing is, if you were to start your first Great One grind at level 30, for example, you're going to be really broke. It's going to be really tough to purchase all the tents and tripods needed for a Great One grind. 16 tents, just the 16 tents, if you don't include the freebies that come with the DLC, each tent is $16,000. So 16 times 16 is 256,000 in-game dollars just to buy tents. Never mind tripods. It's not a cheap thing to do. Now, you're going to make a lot of money when you do a grind because you're constantly shooting and picking up animals. But grinding, I think it's something you should wait and get into later on. Just really try and learn the game, enjoy the game, have fun hunting, figure out all the different maps. And then when you get to level 60 and you feel like you know what you're doing and you have some money, that is a better time to start a Great One grind. Now, that's just my opinion, but that's how I feel. Now, the other thing is, when you're at level 30, you're not even going to have all your skills and perks yet. So it's going to be way more difficult to do a grind when you do it before level 60. So now we're going to talk about what the best grinds and the best maps are for new grinders. I'm going to give you guys my top 4 easiest grinds that I recommend for new players. So at number 4 is the Wild Boar grind here in Tornasheen in Scotland. Now, if you actually set up your barrels in 8 of the spots that you see on this map, thank you, iBuy Premiums. He created this amazing map for us. You don't even have to find your drink zones in order to set up. That makes this grind really easy. So all you have to do is put the barrel in the spots you see on the map, put a tent close by, and then set another tent about 230 meters away and set a blind up right outside it. Here's the blind. So there's my tent. Okay, so I have put a waypoint on my bait barrel. So my tent is exactly 230 meters away from the bait barrel. Then you want to put a duck blind. These come in the Duck and Cover DLC, somewhere around 200 meters. I'd say between 175 to 200 meters away from the bait barrel. And then you want to have a tent close to your bait barrel on the other side. That's it. That's what you want to do with 8 different setups. And then you set it to pig feed time and wild boar feed from 3 to 7 and from 17 to 21. So I set the time for the morning for about 5:15 and I grind until about 6:15. And then for the evening time, I set the time to about 1800 and I grind for an hour and then put the time back to 1800. So that is a really easy grind. Now, the third easiest Great One grind for new players, in my opinion, is the Mule Deer grind, and I would recommend doing that grind in a ski ridge. Now, I actually used JBiz Hunt's Every Lake method, and I will leave the link to his guide for that on the screen here and in the description below. And I do highly recommend using the Every Lake method, because when you go to Every Lake, you don't have to deal with solos, because you're going to find all of them and shoot them if they're larger than mid-level. So with this method, you don't have to stack any diamonds. You don't have to deal with solos. Really, it's an easy method. So definitely check that video out. And that is why I do have the Mule Deer grind as one of the easiest grinds in the game. Now, the second easiest grind, in my opinion, is the Fallow Deer grind, and I would recommend you do that grind in Te Awaroa. Now, the reason that I find it the easiest grind is because there are only about 30 drink zones for fallow deer on this map, and their zones are nice and condensed, so they're really quick and easy to find and quick and easy to deal with when you do have to go out to exteriors if you are doing your first herd managed grind. So this is a really amazing option. You're only going to find fallow deer in these spots. This is a hotspot map, so there's a nice small population, making it fast and easy to do your first herd managed grind, or non-herd managed. Either way, this is a great first grind. Just to get a feel for grinding, if you like it, if you're going to enjoy it, start learning about it, because herd management, it really is something to wrap your brain around. It's not an easy thing, and it is a lot of work, but there are big payoffs. Herd management will definitely give you way more diamonds from your grind. It will give you larger rares and the greater chance of spawning a super rare. We don't know if herd management actually gives you a greater chance of spawning a great one or not, but it will definitely give you all of the other benefits for your grind. I will leave the guides for all of these Great One grinds that I recommend as a first grind in the description below. Now, in my opinion, the easiest grind and the one I would recommend that you start with first is the Grey Wolf grind, and the map I would recommend for that is in Yukon Valley. Now, with the Grey Wolf grind, I did my first Grey Wolf grind in early access, and I was in a hurry. I really wanted to spawn it in early access. I didn't know if it was possible or not, but I wanted to get shooting fast. So what I did was I set up on the first 8 drink zones that I found with a shooting tent and a pickup tent and a tripod. And I started shooting, and I shot the 2 largest males from every zone. And that's all I did. I did not discover my drink zones. I did not herd manage. That's it. And I had my first Great One Wolf on the map in 423 kills. So I got good RNG, so it happened fast, but that proves that it works. The second grind, I haven't got the same luck. I am still shooting. I'm at about 5,000 kills. I'm getting bad RNG now, but the fact that it spawned in 423 kills proves that that method does work. So I would definitely recommend the wolf grind for your first grind, and I hope you get good RNG like I did on my first wolf grind. Now, I did rank the difficulty of all 11 Great One grinds in a video. If you would like to check that out, I will leave the link to that video on the screen and in the description below. Okay, so we're now going to talk about the best DLC weapon packs that I would recommend to new players when they're first getting started. Now, there are 2 weapon packs that I would recommend. If you get these 2 weapon packs, that will give you just about the best rifle for every class of animal in the game. Like, you will be set. And they are the Modern Rifles DLC and the High Caliber Weapon Pack. So the high caliber weapon pack comes with the Arzina 300, which is good for classes 7 to 9. Now this is the best class 7 to 9 rifle in the game, in my opinion, of course. It's not the strongest, but it has the least amount of recoil. There is one that is stronger, and that would probably be the Valgarda 375. This will double lung a moose, while the Arzina will not, but it has a lot of recoil. The high caliber weapon pack also comes with the Strandberg 10 gauge, which is my absolute favorite shotgun in the game. It has 4 rounds, and honestly, when I started using this shotgun, I started making more shots than I used to. It just gets them down. And it comes with the 4570 Jernberg Superior, which is a single shot pistol. Now, this pistol is good for classes 4 all the way up to 9. It only weighs 1 kilogram, so that is a very handy pistol to use in a tight loadout. And then in the Modern Rifles DLC, this comes with the Zarza 22, which is good for classes 1 and has 5 shots. It also comes with the Zarza 223, which is good for classes 2 to 4. And the most popular rifle in this pack is definitely the Zarza 308, and this is good for classes 4 to 8. The Zarza 308 is probably the most popular class 4 to 8 rifle in the entire game. I have shot absolute thousands of animals with the 308, and it is an amazing rifle. You cannot go wrong with this rifle. So this is an amazing weapon pack for new players. These two packs together, and you are set. So basically, that gives you a 22. It does have 5 shots. It's not the best 22 in the game, but it's a 22, and you have nothing for class 1s as a new player. Even birdshot is locked when you first start the game. So having the Zarza 22 would definitely be a welcome addition for any new player. So it also has the 308, the best class 4 to 8, the Arzina, which is the best 7 to 9, or just about, and it has the Zarza 223, so you do have a good rifle for classes 2 to 6. It's not the best one, but it will do the job. Now, if you are a big duck hunter or you do like to hunt a lot of class 1 animals, I would recommend Weapon Pack 1 because it has the Virant 22 and the Virant has 10 shots. And when you're shooting ducks or geese or anything winged out of the sky, you're going to need 10 shots. So it comes with the Virant 22 as well as the crossbow, which is an amazing bow. It actually has the only adjustable scope in the game for a bow. And it comes with the Huyi recurve bow. Now, this is a really fun bow. It is tough. It definitely comes with a learning curve, but if you can master it, it is a lot of fun. So that's Weapon Pack 1. Now, as far as equipment goes, I would recommend purchasing right from the start the tent and ground blinds DLC. Tents are basically portable outposts. When you place tents around your map, you're going to do way more hunting and way less running. So tents are definitely a worthy investment. And you're never going to be able to do a grind if you don't have tents. That is for sure. Another DLC that I would recommend right from the beginning is the Saeksa Trophy Lodge. You're going to be hunting, you're going to be getting trophies, diamonds, and rares, and you're going to need somewhere to put them so that you can celebrate your trophies and go and see your accomplishments in the lodge. Ask any player. They love their trophy lodges. We love our trophies in Call of the Wild, so you are definitely going to need a trophy lodge. Now, there are 2 DLCs. There is the Saeksa Trophy Lodge, and there is the Spring Creek Manor. I highly recommend the Saeksa Lodge over the Spring Creek Manor. It just has way more floor mounts. It's way more wide open, and it is a lot brighter. It's not as dark in here. So this is an amazing lodge. And this is something that I would recommend that you purchase right from the start. You definitely won't be sorry. This is the Spring Creek Manor Lodge. As you can see, it's still beautiful. It's just not as open. It does have 2 floors. There's a lot of wood. It is a lot darker in here. I do feel like I need to put my headlamp on to come in here and look at the trophies. And there aren't as many floor mounts in this lodge. But if you prefer this lodge, this definitely will fit the bill for a trophy lodge. And you can get this one instead of Saeksa if you do prefer. Now, another DLC that I would highly recommend that you purchase as a new player is the Scopes and Crosshairs DLC. Now, I wish this had have existed when I was a new player, but it didn't. What it comes with is the Odin Rifle Scope, which is a 412x33 rifle scope. This is it right here, and it is awesome. It zooms in quite a bit more than the Hyperion does, but not quite as much as the Argus. It's kind of in between, and it's absolutely amazing. It is my main scope when I am hunting and grinding. It also includes the Angler 48x100 night vision rifle scope, which I always use when I am hunting in the dark. This is by far the best night vision rifle scope, and this is what it looks like. So it's nice and clear. You do have some zoom. You get a lot more zoom than the other night vision scope, and that one comes in the high-tech hunting DLC. Now, if you don't have night vision binoculars, they do come in the high-tech DLC, and these are the Gen 0 night vision binoculars. So if you are planning to do any night hunting, you will need the high-tech hunting DLC for the night vision binoculars. And the third scope that comes in the Scopes and Crosshair DLC is the Hermes 3 7x33 handgun/shotgun scope. So if you get this DLC, you no longer have to grind to unlock the handgun and the shotgun scope. So that's going to save you a pile of work, and this one scope is good for shotguns and handguns, and it's great. So this is it right here. This is the handgun/shotgun scope, and it is adjustable, and it works on all handguns and shotguns. And with this DLC, this also gives you the ability, when you highlight any of your scopes, to change your reticle. So you can pick any of these reticles. It does cost some in-game money, but you can customize your reticle to be exactly what you want with this DLC. And to do that, you just highlight the scope. I am on PCs, and I press C, but it should tell you when you're on a controller what button to press in the bottom right-hand corner. Now, the last DLC that I would recommend to new players is the Game Feeders DLC. So this DLC comes with the bait barrels, the box feeder, and the post feeder. Now, feeders are awesome. They're way more fun than I expected them to be. But based on the feed, they will attract certain animals, and it just makes it so easy to find animals when you place feeders around. You can use them to grind, you can use them just to hunt, to find trophies, to find animals for cash. They're just awesome. I do have a guide on how to use the feeders, and I will leave the link to that on the screen here and in the description below. So those are the DLCs I would recommend to new players. So that's everything you need to get started the right way in Call of the Wild. So you now know the best maps for cash, for trophies, and for grinding, which grinds to start with, and exactly which weapon and equipment DLCs are actually worth buying first. So you're not wasting money like we all did at the beginning. If this guide helped you at all, hit that like button. It really helps the channel, and I want to hear from you. Which map are you starting on first, and what are you grinding for? Drop it in the comments, and if you're brand new, make sure you're subscribed, because I've got full hotspot guides, grind guides, and trophy tips coming that'll take you from beginner to diamond hunter fast. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. And I'm going to recommend that you click right here for my beginner playlist with videos in there on skills and perks, proper shot placement, how to find diamonds and rares, and more.